Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV with the Rude Man. We're back in our barracks with our men. They're not all men, but you know what I mean. My crew, my people, and they're some of them are relaxing, some of them are kind of tired from the last battle. But we need to go talk to the Commander Swift, so. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphino has already been informed and should be waiting for you. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade and speak with Bartholomew. Okay, going to the promenade. Is it promenade, promenade, tomato, tomato, potato, potato? There's Alphino, and there's Bartholomew. We call him Bartholomew for short. Actually, we call him Bart for short. He's got a twin over there. We've been expecting you, sir. Please proceed inside.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room.
Is this room safe?
The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Surprise, surprise.
Teleji Adeleji.
Sit down, young man.
But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Well, why do you think he's being so nice about it?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield.
What was a battlefield? Literally.
The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Allagan ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations.
So it's kind of love.
In full
no man's
knowledge
land.
of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Omega?
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
Told ya.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Well, the plot thickens. Stories we tell. I should be glad to know the truth, yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power kind of makes me sick. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Lieutenant Painter. Pray, keep us informed of any development in Cartno. Begone, whelp. This is no place for children. Hey, it's that little girl that was crying. Don't be so mean to her. I'm sorry. I was looking for you, mister. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? So, he visited Stone's Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course. First, I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there. We just require a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Mamodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an aether-starved primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. What are you talking about? You're going to overthrow Minfilia? Roland, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Reverence Toll with all due haste. The situations in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. I'll explain in detail once you arrive. The Twelveswood. Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I've received no reports of Ixil activity, which leaves the Sylphs. Go, Roland. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, inform the Anacenet that while I'm grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I'm more than capable of protecting myself. Snot nose. Nana, nana, nana. And it's a relief to see you healthy and hale, Roland. The latest news from Ulda was most disturbing. Clearly the only injury Alphinaud suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I'll summon them. Right, I'm ready. No time like the present. Thanks for responding to the call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you if it weren't urgent. To business then. I've received some most disturbing news from the Order of Twin Adders. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramu. I'm sorry. May have? Then it's not certain. While the Elder Seedseer informs us that the elements themselves murmur of the Lord of the Leven's return to the forest, the Sylphs, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, Aniseed, but that fact need not contradict the Elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine that we would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me, though. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? In preparation for summoning ritual were indeed underway, 'twould surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going on to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did not to prevent it? I told Papalimo. I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except to wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramu once, right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans have trampled through their forest. And so long as Castrum Orient stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the Forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ulda drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like the Sylphs perceived this panic migration as yet another invasion, and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Well, indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Erosia would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Roland, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solas, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope, were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the beastmen since that time immemorial. Well, but maybe this time we can. Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Roland. Pray report to Commander Heliox at the Adder's Nest as soon as you're able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Leven will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Oh yeah, are they going to fight for me? Well, I guess they do. Alright, so we're off to Gridania. Roland of the Scions, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The elder Seedseer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray, make your way to the altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the lotus stand. Let me in. The other scions have already arrived, sir. May I show you in? Yes, take me to your leader. My question is, does this poor woman stand out here in the open all day long just waiting for a meeting? Or to have meetings and stuff? You don't have an office somewhere? Nice comfortable chair, big desk.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramu is returned. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Leven. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramu is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelveswood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelveswood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramu himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Heavensward that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
All right, well, we'll be careful. It isn't going to matter. We're going to have to fight the guy anyway. I mean, of course we are. Know what I mean? Okay, well, let's get out of here. I almost forgot I can fly. I went driving that motorcycle off the edge expecting to hit the ground. Serpent Lieutenant. Roland, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the Primal Ramu himself. An unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I've been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation in the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location where the Lord of the Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. Okay, I can do that. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finished their investigation. I did not imagine that it would take much longer. This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location where the Touched One summoned Lord Ramu. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good man to the fellow Scions? It would be this one's pleasure. Walking One, please, come with me. Wise ones have ventured deep within Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for the Touched Ones. Okay. Kind of foggy out here. Here we are. This one's most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close and to Lord Ramu, and this one may turn mean and nasty like the touched ones. And so this one must say farewell. Walking one will find wise ones not far from here, to the south. Go in safety. Papalimo. So it's actually you. I'm relieved. For a moment, I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on Istola's face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalimo. Yeah, my apologies. It's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, as I was saying, I've finished measuring aetheric activity in the area and am pleased to say I've reached an indisputable conclusion, to wit, that Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's aetherite. Come, Roland, the Lord of Leven awaits. Boy, they're praying up a storm, aren't they?
Thine order betrays thee, Sir Hiding.
Good Lord, how long did it take you to grow that beard?
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan.
Yeah.
I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs?
Well, we're just here to talk.
The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult.
Well, there you go then.
Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Gridanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other.
Well, that's not fair.
Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man.
Well, not all men have breasts.
Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking?
Yeah, look what I got. I've got the crystal of the sylphs.
Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. That they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal. Shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment.
I guess the fight is on.
Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
Hey, the fight's here.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady.
I'm glad to see you're so excited about it.
I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramu, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
He's just a voyeur. He wants to watch.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Well, I guess that little job is done. All we have now to do is report to the lieutenant. All right, it's all done. Roland, you've returned. Dare I ask how Ramu received your visit? Not very well. He made me fight him. He challenged you to a test of arms? It is well, then, that you've some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Solus will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest's champion of peace. You've performed a monumental duty this day, Roland. The Elder Seed Seer must be informed of your deeds at once. All right, that's a story for another day. We'll take care of that in the next episode. Hope you had fun. Hope to see you then. Ta-ta for now.